Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday, happy weekend. I had myself a night last night. Swept the board, 7-0, and I also had a free bet on DraftKings for $35. So I put a 7-leg parlay down, like almost like laughingly, and the shit hit for $1,400. So yeah, it was a great Friday for me. Hopefully that continues through the weekend. A lot of great basketball on today. Um, I also like a couple of the NBA games tonight, and usually the weekend NBA is not my favorite. There's actually a couple I like tonight. So let's get started. We got 16 games to go through. I'm going to be doing the pie charts as we go along. So obviously the pie charts are incorrect right there. It says Georgia, Florida in the bottom left. They will be correct as we cruise along. You'll see. So first game, Yukon, St. John's. Scoop, is this a spot where we could get sharp here and take the Johnnies?
Let's go Johnny's. UConn's obviously one of the best teams in the nation, but St. John's covered 6 of their last 7. UConn's been great. They shot awful against, from 3 against Providence, and St. John's has a great perimeter defense. Soriano with 16.6 points per game he's the only player in the conference averaging double-digit rebounds with over 10 a game. Klingon's a beast center for himself. I mean, for UConn himself, but I think St. John's has a faster tempo here. They're going to try to score on the break. Toast was saying now it's back up to 4.5. Yeah, I'm not fading Johnny's at home. The Alex Carabin injury is going to be a little struggle for UConn. Plus, UConn won, only by 1 against Nova, 5 at Butler, 7 against Xavier, and lost at Seton Hall since the league play began. So I'm gonna ride the Johnnies.
All right, I'm gonna put Johnnies up for me too. Let's do it. UConn's, I know their home away splits on the defensive end are I don't want to say significant. They're still elite on the road, but at home they have the elite defense, and on the road the numbers aren't as good. And I'm rooting for St. John's, so that's where I'm going. Andy?
I'm on UConn. I think there's a mix of things. UConn, I think this is basically a home game for them. They play there all the time. They play at MSG all the time. They will probably have a bigger crowd at the game. I think in the first matchup, Cleon didn't play, and Soriano had a double-double. Soriano's now no longer the best big man in this game. Cleon's in this game, so he's the best player in the game. I think UConn, better team, best player in the game. Basically, I mean, I guess it's more neutral site because I guess technically it is St. John's home court, but UConn's played there before. This is just a spot I think they look really good in. St. John's, I think they just have a tendency to just not finish these games. Like, I don't know what it is about them, but this team just isn't finishing the big games they need to finish. So, yeah, I like UConn here.
All right, Toast, break the tie.
I'll be taking the points with St. John's. No question here for me. Like they talked about, Caravan was one of those question marks. It sounds like he's going to play today, but I don't really know if he's going to be 100%. Yeah, Donovan Clingan is really good basketball player, but at the same time, St. John's is going to have that matchup zone working for them with a couple big men themselves that should be able to shut them down. Another thing that I really like with the Johnnies is that they really like to press. That should give UConn a little bit of fits here today. I think this is Andy's right. This is like for UConn as well. But I think this is a must-have game for the Johnnies, who's lost 4 out of 5. With DePaul on deck, this is a game that they have to have with Marquette on deck after that. So this is the game that you have to have.
Toast, your mic, dude. Can you unplug it and plug it back in? It's just like it's not crazy like last time. It's just so quiet, and it's not on my end. But yeah, he's on St. John's, and you can make out a little bit of what he was saying. But so 3 of us on St. John's, 61% of the community, and Andy on UConn here. So a lot of people betting the Huskies, 60%, 30%. All right, South Carolina at Georgia up next. All right, this line is now Georgia -2, and let's get the poll started. But This strikes me as a South Carolina revenge game. Georgia beat them earlier in the season on South Carolina's home court. I feel like South Carolina's been underpriced all year, as you can see, 16-5 against the spread. So yeah, I'm going with the Gamecocks. South Carolina on the road with the upset.
Yeah, I agree with you saying they're underpriced. I feel like when I saw that Georgia was favored, I know it's a home game, but I just don't know why they're not catching on to South Carolina. I think Georgia wins the game because it's a must-win. You have South Carolina coming off a big road win over Tennessee. That's huge. This could be a flat spot for them. Georgia, it's do or die at this point. After the loss on Wednesday, you brought up a good point. Could have taken the wind out of their sails. They could be done.
Their wind is gone. There's no wind in those sails.
So I guess we'll find out early in the game. But at the 2, I think I'll side Georgia here. But I could see it being South Carolina. South Carolina is just really good. That's the truth about it now. So.
All right, hold on. Let's see if Toast's mic is. Did you plug it in? Plug it back in. Oh, it's okay. So it sounds better now. It's just quiet. So turn the volume knob up.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't ever touch that. So
a little down. It's a little other way now.
A little too high.
Go ahead. That sounds good.
Yeah, huge pass for me. I have no idea. No bets in this game. I don't even want to bet it. It's coin flip. So pass.
A pass. Okay. Hold on. Bam.
Toast passing never happens.
I mean, you can put South Carolina for tally marks, or if you want to claim a win or whatever. But yeah, I have no interest betting this game.
So do you lean South Carolina?
Sure.
Scoop.
Everyone knows I love South Carolina. Won quite a bit of money on them this year. Like you said, 16-5 against the number, which is 5th best in the country. Plus, I'm still mad at Georgia for not covering that Alabama game, man. Blew a 14-point halftime lead and didn't even cover the spread in overtime. I mean, I know South Carolina had a weak schedule, 333rd most difficult in college basketball, but you can't ignore the Kentucky and Tennessee wins, man. South Carolina plays some great defense, and I think they have better scorers than Georgia, so I'm gonna go with South Carolina.
It's Andy on the island to start it off. 2 island games in a row. The community is on our side this time, though. 62%, 29% in favor of South Carolina. Next. All right. We got Texas at TCU. Toast, according to the data down there, obviously, it's like partially who cares about that data, but the data says everyone's all over Texas here. What say you?
Yeah, I would lean that way. I mean, now that I see that, I didn't bet this game, but now seeing that, I guess I would take the home team. I guess Texas off of 2 losses is in a really good spot. But yeah, this is a really hard game for me to cap. So I lean Texas. I didn't bet Texas especially with the world on them. I'm not going to be on them, but yeah, I lean Texas.
All right, Scoop.
Yeah, I know the whole public's on Texas, but I feel like everyone's ranked in the Big 12 this year. This is actually Texas's 5th ranked opponent in a row, and they split the other 4. Plus, TCU has printed a lot of tons of horns down shirts for this game for the crowd, which is obviously sacrilege, and you're not supposed to do that or you get banned, apparently.
So crazy.
I hate taking Texas, but I'm going to do it here. They're 26 in adjusted offensive efficiency. Max Adams has been one of the best scorers in the Big 12. He shoots 40% from 3. And I feel like every time I watch TCU, it's been close in the second half. Hunter Mitchell, all capable scorers. I think TCU just won't be able to keep up offensively, so give me the points.
I just took TCU at home recently, and it was close the whole game, but they ended up covering for me at the end. So I'm taking TCU again with their real nice-looking home-away splits. Andy? You're muted.
I don't remember muting myself. Okay. I'm taking TCU as well. A Big 12 home team. I'm not going to side all Big 12 home teams today, but this is the one I do. I think Texas blew a golden opportunity, and like we just said for Georgia, that could ruin a lot of your momentum. So, yeah, I like TCU.
We got Sports Center in the comments dropping his hammerlock. His streak ended, and he lost by the hook too.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like he'd rather him just get blown out for the streak to end. He had Quinnipiac.
Miami. Wow.
Miami is his hammerlock here. He had Quinnipiac minus 6.5. They won by 6 last night, so the streak ended on a heartbreaker. Apparently, they had the ball and just dribbled it out for the last 20 seconds or something too. I forget.
No, they threw an alley oop and they were like 0.5 of a second late.
Oh my god. All right, so 60%. Yo, this guy AM Quinnipiac was a bad play. Like, dude, you were the guy calling everyone idiots for taking Oregon the other night. They blew USC into another stratosphere. 60%, 32% on TCU. Let's move into the next game. Virginia at Clemson. All right, so at first glance, how's Virginia getting 4.5? I know they have a bad offense, but isn't that defense elite?
It is, yes.
They are.
So how are they getting 4.5 points here?
Clemson
They
sucks.
and they can't play offense.
No, well, Clemson's exactly. They're laying 4.5. Clemson. That's what I'm saying. So
Well, there's a lot of people out there like Scoop that think Clemson's a tournament team, so they get a little
Yeah.
bit of extra
Just
stuff.
because you're in the tournament doesn't mean I think
It
they're
makes
good.
no sense to me in any way, shape, or form. But
Scoop,
Yeah.
I'm on Virginia. UVA 4.5 with a total at 127. And final score it's gonna be 51-50. Virginia.
Virginia keeps preaching defense. It's obviously what keeps them in the games. A couple weeks ago, I actually said Virginia is headed the way of Virginia football, so I apologize to the Cavalier fans. Obviously their offense still isn't great at all, which I said before. But in the last couple weeks, they have gotten better. I know they're beating the bottom of the barrel ACC teams, but let's be real, most of the ACC.
I was
going to
say that's the whole conference.
In Clemson since the last 8 games, they've shot 28% behind the 3-point line. Their opponents have shot 38%, and Virginia, when they shoot 35% from 3, they're 12-0. They like to shoot from the outside. They don't want players in the paint. Reese Beekman should do enough to keep this a close game. Again, the offense sucks, but I think the defense is going to be too much for Clemson, so I like Virginia.
There we go. Me and Scoop both on the Cavs. Andy, do you agree with us?
Yeah, I couldn't get there with Clemson. I really don't. I'm kind of with Toast. I don't understand what the love is. I think it's a lot of the metrics. I don't see it from them. I think 4.5 is a high number for them. I think it's going to be the first team to score 50 wins this game. Like, this is going to be a very low scoring game. So yeah, I think Virginia wins those types of games.
All right, Toast.
yeah, I'd take Virginia as well. I didn't bet it yet, but I would lean that way. Just especially in the fact that this game, they're going to try to slow Clemson down. Virginia really slowed average possession length, 337 in average possession length, and they don't turn the ball over. I would maybe lean over because neither one of these teams really turns the ball over. Clemson doesn't force turnovers, and I know that Virginia forces turnovers, but Clemson's going to be shooting a lot of 3 balls to try to get away from the Clemson or from that Virginia matchup zone that they can run so well. So, yeah, I'd lean the points, and I would probably lean over as well.
You lean over at 127.5. Well, 127.5.
Exactly. That's why.
54%, 32% on Virginia. So communities on Virginia too. So this is a Virginia Cavalier program. Next. Houston at Kansas. This is a big one. Houston is laying 1.5, or at least they were about an hour ago. All right, Toast. Do you believe in Houston enough to lay 1.5 on the road in Kansas?
Yes, I do. I laid one last night, sent it out on your website as well. I'm just taking the better team. I'm not going to let myself overthink this game. I understand there's a stat going around there that Kansas has been a home dog once in the since 1998, and that game was against Baylor. I think they were like 4-point dogs. They ended up winning by 30. Yada yada yada. I don't give a damn. First and foremost, I don't see anybody talking about Kevin McCullough and him not being 100%. He didn't play last game. I'm sure he's going to play today, but we don't really know what to expect from him. I'm sure he's going to be fine, but that still is something that needs to be talked about. Every time that Hunter Dickinson touches the ball, he's going to get double teamed. And that's just what Houston does. It's not like it's going to throw them out of their element. They're not going to be doing something that they're going to have to do to stop him that they're not used to doing. I mean, everything that points me to what I like in a game is with Houston here. They have the better defense, and their offense, I think, is very close to similar. I mean, if you take away McCullough, and I think that they're going to be able to take away Dickinson, Shed, Cryer, and Sharp can all make the shots that I want them to make. And especially with Cryer coming over from Baylor. So I have no problem laying the one with Houston. I think they've had their road troubles with the Big 12, and they've also played in the Big 12 now for 7 games or whatever it is, 8 games. So this whole new experience isn't really so new to them. And they went on the road and beat BYU and Texas. So I'll take my chances with a very short number on Houston. Houston -1 for me.
Scoop, do you agree?
Yeah, I do agree. Like Toast said, Kevin McCullough's injury is, big time. He sat out last game against an OK State game, which whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter. They were going to beat them anyway. OK State's obviously not Houston. So if he does go, him and Dickinson aren't 100%. Houston shoots the 3 really well, but Kansas kind of has problems defending the 3. All the money is going Kansas's way. And like Toast said, it's obviously because catching points on home with Kansas is kind of crazy. But all of Kansas's metrics are going down lately. I mean, they're still a good team, but I think they're going to struggle against the best team and best defense in the country. Houston's going to try to force Kansas to shoot the perimeter because they don't really have the size down low. But even if they don't, they can shut down Dickinson and out-rebound them, which they can do. They don't have size, but they have strength. They're going to out-rebound this team. Cryer and Sheet should give Kansas's guard problems. I like Houston here. Give me the number.
Michael Doss, he said 644 people watching, only 17 likes. A lot of people watch on their TVs, so you physically can't hit you could do it with the remote, but it's annoying. That's what the reason for that.
I appreciate that. I do that on the NBA show too.
But that's the reason is a lot of people are watching on their TVs.
Yeah.
All right, Andrew.
I have a feeling I'm going to wind up on an island here. I like Kansas. At home, I can't bet against Kansas. I know that the Houston's the better team on paper, pretty much on the court too. But I think McCullough makes a difference, but I just think Kansas at home is going to get it done. I think it'll be a very tight game, and they win it on the last possession. They blew out a bottom of barrel trash team, but I think that brought them some momentum, kind of fixed what their issues. They were going into that game with no momentum, and they looked great. So I think they come into this one look really good.
You're not on an island. Me too. You know what Toast is the king of? Toast does this all the time. Baseball season 2. He'll give out a really insightful trend and then followed up by going, but who cares? Like, yo, I care. Kansas is a home dog. It's automatic money. Kansas plus 1.5. And he's the one that gave me the information. And he'll say it and then be like, but who cares? Well, I thought that was spot on. Kansas at home, they win outright. I also might be a little biased. I don't like Houston. I never liked Houston. Well, mostly referring to their football team, but I didn't like Clayton Tune. Just don't like the program. 52%. Everyone in here knows who Clayton Tune is except you. 52%, 40% on Houston. Next game. All right. Oklahoma, UCF. Andy, go ahead.
This is the exact same situation as the game before. 1.5 on the road. I like Oklahoma. I'm a big fan of this UCF team. I just think the number's too low. I think OU's going to win this by 3-4. This is OU's just a better team here. That's really the only way I could put that. They're just a far better team.
Isn't Oklahoma another one that has significant home away splits though?
Yeah, but I think that they'll make it up here. The tough part is the game before we just did, right? We knew Houston was the better team, but Kansas at home, great. And obviously they're one of the best programs. UCF is still getting used to being good. I think hosting a team like this, it's going to be a rough one for them. They don't have momentum either. They lost the other day, so I think Oklahoma just comes in a better position.
Oh, Grand Marquise says he likes UCF money line. Okay. Toast?
Yeah, I'm on UCF as well. I don't know about that momentum, Andy. I mean, they played Baylor to the absolute wire, and they lost to a Baylor team that's like, I mean, one of the best coaches in the country in the fourth quarter. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know about that. You have a Oklahoma team that has underestimated for some. I mean, lost 2 out of 3. That Kansas State win. I mean, Kansas State didn't even get off the bus. So, I mean, congratulations to them. They got a free one right there.
That was disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, congratulations to them. They got a free one right there. But I don't see them getting any easier down with UCF. I mean, you forgot to mention that UCF defensively is a juggernaut. I mean, 11th in overall efficiency. It's not like Oklahoma shoots the 3 ball well, and UCF plays their 2-point defense 24th in the country, allowing teams to only shoot under 45% as a team. Is the UCF offense absolutely gross? Yeah, but I think this is going to be one of those nasty games. I think this line is what it is for a reason. So yeah, I think Darius Johnson, Jalen Sellers, Markellius Ivory, all those guys go to town tonight. So yeah, I'm on UCF.
All right. Oh, I forgot to put your pick up. I'm sorry. UCF plus 1.5. Toast, what side are you on?
Scoop.
Oh, Scoop. My bad. It's I was up late last night.
That's all right. Yeah, I'm on Oklahoma. I think they're a more physical team all around than UCF. Jalen Moore is a great defender. McCollum is obviously their best scorer, but Otega Owe is going to slow down Sellers. UCF's not a good offensive team.
They're better than Kansas State was, though. It's still a step up from what they just saw.
UCF just lost to West Virginia, man. I don't want to hear anyone that loses to West Virginia.
Flat spot. It was a flat spot.
I just don't see how UCF competes. I think Oklahoma's a better offensive team, and UCF is a great defense, but I don't think.
Can I stop you really quick? Because UCF beat West Virginia. Just for the record.
Oh my God, Scoop! Giving out fake news. Giving out fake news.
72-59. It wasn't even a fucking close game.
Wow.
I was looking at the wrong game.
And you know what? That's the deciding factor for me. Fake news puts me on the other side. I stand against fake news.
So fake news. They still don't have the offensive. Now I'm actually more confident. Actually, that
you gave out a fake stat.
I thought I was. Maybe I was looking.
And that makes you more confident.
Yeah, definitely more confident now. I don't see how UCF competes. They don't have the offensive firepower to compete with Oklahoma. Give me Oklahoma.
First of all, UCF beat them 72-59.
That's okay. No worries.
41%, 39% Oklahoma. So Oklahoma squeaks out the poll, but it's close. Next.
Now I'm confused.
Now I'm confused.
Loud noises. All right. Next up, I put Toast up first for this one. Oh, Pac-12. All right. Colorado on the road at Utah. I have no idea, so I'm going to listen to these guys and tail whoever I think makes the best argument. You have a move on this one, Toast?
I would play Utah. I was kind of waiting to see where this line would be. This Utah team has lost 2 in a row, but again, they lost their trip up to Washington. They lost a road game at Washington State that wasn't particularly close. And then it's like they never wanted to play against Washington either because they lost that game. They gave up almost 100 points to Washington. Now they play, I guess I would call it probably one of their rivals in the conference, this Colorado team that's around 25th in the country, coming off a loss against Washington State as well. But this Utah team at home has just been very, very good. And Colorado overall on the road in the Tad Boyle era has just never been a team that I really wanted to back. So I'll take Utah, who's really big, 4th biggest team in the country. The only thing that bothers me with Utah that kind of helps with their at home is that they're one of the worst free throw shooting teams in the country. Utah 336 in the nation shooting the free throw at the free throw line. Colorado number 6. That's a huge difference there. I still think Utah is a little bit of a better team, especially at home with Brandon Carlson, Wooly Worcester. So I'm on Utah.
Yeah, I remember doing a video on that Utah team, and they had a couple great games at home and then went on the road in Arizona and Arizona State and sucked, and then came back home and took care of business again. So, yeah, that sounded good to me. But like I said, I don't know much about these programs. I'm down to fade Coach Prime, though. Next up, Andrew. Oh, no, that's Scoop. Scoop, do you have a move on this one?
Yeah, Utah just lost to Hofstra.
Did they actually lose, though?
No, they did not. I'm just joking. I just can't trust Utah. They're giving up threes left and right. The free throw percentage, like Toast says, should be a factor. Colorado shooting like 79% from the free throw line, and Utah shooting 64%. Plus, Colorado shooting 50% from the floor. Yeah, they suck away. They're 1-5 against the spread, 1-5 against straight up. But Utah hasn't been a great team. KJ Simpson's been one of the best scorers in the Pac-12. I think Colorado's a pretty solid team. I'm gonna back Shedeur Sanders and the Buffs.
Shedeur Sanders. Justin Phillips says even Scoop's dog looked at him crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
All right, Andy, do you side with Scoop or do you side with me and Toast?
No, I like what Toast said. I thought these teams are just so even. I just sided with the home team here. I think Utah's a very tough place to play. Yeah, I'll side with Kyle Whittingham. That's
Ooh, nice.
There you go. Best coast of college football, most consistent. 59%, 22% in favor of Utah. So communities all over Utah. Scoop is truly on. Yeah, Scoop is truly on a Colorado island here. All right, let's move on to the next one, which is Maryland, Michigan State, and obviously we know the data that comes in where it says where the public is supposed to be taken with a grain of salt. That being said, it's tough to ignore that it looks like everyone's coming in on Maryland at plus 6.5. Normally, it's just the fact that everyone's coming in on a road dog, according to this data, is the only reason I mentioned it. That seems just crazy. Scoop, Maryland a live dog here or no?
Yeah, I actually like Maryland. They rank 11th defensively. Julian Reese and Jameer Young are two of the best defenders in the conference. They just dominated Nebraska at home. By the way, shout out Huskers for that Wisconsin win. They're the problem with Maryland is... It was a bullshit
game, bro.
Yeah,
it was a bullshit game.
The thing with the Maryland is they're pretty bad on offense. They're bad in shooting behind the arc and bad in the field, but I think their defense is going to keep them in this game. Michigan State can't rebound to save their lives. Plus, Maryland out-rebounded them by 10 last game. Yeah, I like Maryland here over Michigan State.
All right, so Scoop is taking the road dog. Let's go with Toast.
How many points, too? 6.5.
Toast, do you agree with what Scoop said?
No. So
absolutely
for me,
not.
Such a dismissive no.
It's not even.
You're wrong. It's okay.
It's just for me. This line is so stinky to me. Look, I understand. I'm not going to sit here and try to make a case that Michigan State is some really good team. But if you also take a look at their losses, Duke, Arizona, Wisconsin, Nebraska, I mean, all those early in the year, and then these two with Northwestern, Illinois, and then Wisconsin again. Obviously, Wisconsin has their number, but there's a lot of wins stacked in there, and a lot of home wins as well. And then if you take a look at what Maryland has done on the road, I mean, away wins against UCLA and Illinois. Iowa's not a very good team. Villanova, they lost. Minnesota, they lost. With Northwestern, they lost. So I'm just not really a fan of Maryland on the road. I understand that 6.5 is a lot, but one thing that if you followed college basketball, you know that when Sparty does win, they seem to win convincingly. I mean, you saw the Michigan game, just their last game. I mean, they went close down at halftime, came back, win by almost 20. Same thing with Minnesota, double-digit winner there. So almost 20-point winner against Rutgers as well. So when this team is playing and they're winning, they win and then they cover the number. So I lean Sparty here. I think their money line would be a parlay piece. Keep in mind, Sparty's played the 7th hardest schedule in the country, too. So they've been tested essentially at every point in their season.
Strong argument. I'm with it. You made a lot of sense. Scoop just sounded like he was spewing off gibberish.
Tom Izzo's a cuck, so you got to realize that, too.
Oh, my. Goodness.
All right, Andy. Are you putting Scoop on an island? Oh, wait, hold on. I did this wrong. Scoop, Toast. There we go. All right. Are you putting Scoop on an island?
Yes, I am.
Yes.
I like what he said. Everybody sees the 8 next to Michigan State's name, and they're like, "Well, 8 losses, 13-8. That's not a Michigan State record." But they don't go through the teams they lost to. Like they name me the bad loss, and then you can convince me they're a bad team. I don't think they're as good as obviously they usually are, but they're still a really good team. They're just playing a tough schedule. That's just what happens sometimes. And Maryland's offense it makes me want to puke when I watch it. So I think they're just completely outmatched on that side now. So I like Michigan State here.
Helm says he likes Maryland first half. I don't know if there's any trends to back that up, but
I guess Michigan State did just play a weak first half against Michigan. Maybe that's...
no, I'm on Sparty too, and I think Michigan State money line is live as far as to get onto the community parlay. 30%, 52%. Michigan State wins the poll, so community's leaning towards Michigan State as well. Let's go Sparty. Next up, we're back in the SEC, which means Andy's going to start us off. Auburn at Ole Miss. Now, you always talk about how you're scared to fade Auburn at home. They're on the road here. The line is 3.5. I really don't know. I feel like you've never talked about the Ole Miss program.
There's a reason.
He's afraid of Chris Beard.
No, I love Chris Beard. One of my favorite coaches. Not about his personal life, but I think he's a great coach. But I still don't know if Mississippi is good. I really don't. I haven't been able to gauge it yet. I think them beating Mississippi State was great. I had Mississippi State in that game. Still, I'm not convinced. So any game, I could think they're going to get blown out. Like today, I think they get blown out. I could look up and they win by 10. Like I still don't know about this team. So I like Auburn, but it's just so crazy because Ole Miss has played a terrible schedule. But now in SEC play, I thought they'd fade. They haven't really faded besides the LSU game. So they still look like one of the best teams in the SEC. And I don't know how to gauge them. So I'll side Auburn here, but they're confusing.
Lading 3.5 with Auburn on the road where you openly admit they're not as good. Toast, what are your thoughts on what he just said?
Yeah, this is a hard one as well. I really would like to take Mississippi here. I would lean Mississippi. The only reason I say that is I think this is probably, if not their biggest game, this is probably their biggest game left on their schedule. So I would assume that Chris Beard has these guys ready to go here tonight. Auburn, really good. I mean, and on the road, actually, haven't been horrible. I mean, losing to Alabama on the road and then following up to go 2 days later and playing Mississippi State. Losing back-to-back road games right there. I don't really fault Auburn for that. That's not a good spot for them. But at the same time, I do think that Chris Beard is one of the best coaches in the country. We've seen, like Andy said, I felt the same thing. I thought the lack of scheduling early in the year would hurt them come conference play, and it really hasn't. I mean, they're putting up 70-plus points every night. They just put up 86 against Mississippi State. I have no reason to think that their offense won't show up tonight, and their defense isn't that bad either. I mean, the only thing that they're probably going to have issues with tonight is their rebounding. They're going to have to figure out ways to combat that. Chris Beard is a good enough coach to figure that out. Mississippi State's one of the most experienced teams in the country, top 20 in the country, and they're also going to be able to stack at them as far as height and weight's concerned. So I'll take the points at home with a Mississippi State team that's probably kind of desperate.
I like that. I like that reasoning. I still haven't decided yet because I also liked what Andy said a little bit. I'm waiting until Scoop is the deciding factor. Jesus.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep riding Ole Miss. Last week Auburn lost to Alabama, Mississippi State. If Ole Miss stops Broom and Williams, Ole Miss is going to win straight up. I actually like Ole Miss on the money line personally. Auburn has no other scoring options except Broom and Williams, so when they stop them, it's going to be over for them. Until I see them playing well on the road, I can't trust the Tigers. Like Toast said, Chris Beard is one of the best coaches in the league, arguably way better than Bruce Pearl. I definitely see that. Ole Miss is 13-0 at home. I know they got crushed by Auburn in Auburn, decked it, some might say. But I like the way Murray and Morrell's been playing since then. Plus, TJ Caldwell off the bench has been great. Ole Miss has a solid defense, too. They're 5th in blocks per game, 24th in steals. I think they're going to give Auburn problems. Give me Ole Miss at home on the money line, too.
Auburn also has Alabama on deck, which is a huge game for them.
I am tailing Toast and Scoop here. I like Ole Miss as well. I think it's the sharp play. I also like how the line was 4, dropped to 3.5. So line movement even points a little bit towards Ole Miss. Sounds good.
I do need a shower, by the way.
57%, 32% in favor of Auburn. So Auburn won that poll. Community siding with Andy on that one. Someone's asking, and someone has commented this a few times, asking for Andy's favorite bet of the day. He usually says it when he gets to the game. He'll usually come out and say it.
Oh yeah, I got it.
So we haven't gotten to it yet.
He's got it.
Oh yeah, it's locked and loaded.
So we haven't gotten to that game yet, right?
No, it's one of the last games.
Okay. All right, cool. I got Toast queued up for
St. Mary's.
All right, Toast, I got you up first for Cincinnati, Texas Tech. I feel like this year Texas Tech play him as a dog and fade him as a favorite. Could be wrong on that. But line is at 4.5, or at least it was about an hour ago. Do you have a move here?
Yeah, I'm going to take Cincinnati with the points here. I got it at 5.5. So the fact that
It is at 5.5.
4.5
No, it is at 5.5. I'm sorry. The poll, I put it at poll at 4.5. It's 5.5. Sorry about that.
Cool. No worries. So yeah, I just think that this is a desperation spot for Cincinnati. I understand that Texas Tech is really good, but Cincinnati's also played a really, really tough schedule. I mean, their losses are Texas, Baylor, Oklahoma, Kansas, and then that West Virginia game. I just think that they've had enough. Playing UCF really takes a lot out of you. Texas Tech, on the other hand, has done a really good job of 2 wins against BYU, Oklahoma, only losing on the road to TCU and Houston. But we've also seen them play really close games against Kansas State. I'm just really not there with this Texas Tech team. I know that they've played well. Cincinnati should be able to match up well with them. Cincinnati's so much bigger than them. Cincinnati 32 in the country in height. Texas Tech in like close to the 300s as well. Cincinnati doesn't shoot free throws really well. That's the one thing that does concern me, because Texas Tech's one of the better free throw shooting teams in the country. But Cincinnati can rebound the basketball with the best of them. I think there's going to be plenty of second chance opportunities for them. So at 5.5, I'll take my chances with the Bearcats and Day Thompson.
All right, Scoop, do you agree with his Cincinnati move?
I'm actually going to go the other side. I like Texas Tech. I love this Texas Tech team in general. They're tons of fun to watch. Pop Isaac's one of my favorite players in the whole league, averages 17 a game, one of the best scorers. But also McMillan and Toussaint can score as well. The whole team moves the ball well, scores in bunches. Texas Tech just scored 85 points in 3 consecutive games against pretty solid defenses with TCU, Oklahoma, BYU. They're not a good defending team themselves, really, but since he doesn't exactly shoot lights out, since he lost for the 5th time in 7 games, and get this, they lost to West Virginia. I think that's what I meant when I was writing down those. On Wednesday they lost, but they're 2-4 on the road. Texas Tech's 11-0 at home. I see this game kind of being a blowout, to be honest. I think Texas Tech wins by double digits and leads most of the game.
All right, so opposite side so far. Andy, who would you side with?
This was the one game I wasn't siding on a Big 12 home team. I think Cincy covers. I think the number's a little high. I like this Texas Tech team, but I think Cincinnati just coming in here, got to get the momentum in here. And Texas Tech, like you said, when they're favorites, they are good to fade. So, I think it's not one of my. I don't love it, but Cincinnati covers the number.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put that under me, but I really don't know. To be honest, I don't know what to do here.
This is a hard one. This is a very hard game. It's not.
Yeah.
Just to let everyone know, this is my favorite game of the day, and I like Texas Tech to win.
It's your favorite game of the day?
Yep, swear to God.
Wow. So the community agrees with Scoop. 47% on Texas Tech, 36% on Cincinnati. So Scoop's favorite play of the day is Texas Tech. Next. All right, Duke at North Carolina. Here we go. We're in Chapel Hill. There was an Instagram video that popped up last night, and it was like, what's your favorite moment of the Duke-North Carolina rivalry in the Chapel Hill games? And I was scrolling through it, and every single highlight was Duke beating them. And I was like, wow, do they just own this rivalry? And then I realized I was watching a video from Duke basketball account. And I was like, wow, like every single one is Duke beating them. And then, the moral of the story is consider the source.
That was good.
So, Toast, Duke, North Carolina. Without even just first glance, me looking at this, I don't think this number's big enough. Am I correct?
Yeah, you're correct. The pie charts scare the hell out of me. So I would lean UNC. I'm gonna bet it for a half a unit. I wrote on your VIP. I paired UNC and BYU together because I didn't think BYU loses to West Virginia, and that was like plus 104. But I do think UNC wins this game.
I'm just not really. First of all, I'm not going to let one game from North Carolina change how I feel about them. I understand that they look like dog shit against Texas or Georgia Tech, but before that, I mean, their only 3 losses were to Kentucky on a neutral, Connecticut on a neutral, and Villanova on a neutral, which was an OT by 2 points. So this team has been absolutely fantastic all year. Duke, on the other hand, also by playing a top 20 schedule. Duke, on the other hand, a top 90 schedule, losses to Arkansas, Georgia Tech, Arizona, Pittsburgh. But also at the same time, they got really lucky to beat Clemson. I don't think they looked great against Virginia Tech either. I think they won that game kind of late, going away late. I think that UNC is just a better team. I think that we haven't seen a lot from Armando Bacot. He's been kind of nowhere like last
I feel like I haven't heard his name all year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's really been kind of silent. Last year, I think he went for like 14-11 or something, or 10-14 or something like that. Had really good numbers in this game. I expect him to come into play into this game. And then just for overall, like I think the experience factor is going to matter. I mean, North Carolina, the 7th most experienced team in the country. Duke, number 214. Duke is very good with these young players, but RJ Davis, Armando Bacot, Elliot Cardo, all these guys, like I just think that that's going to be too much. So I know it's a rivalry game, and all that stuff being said, anything could happen. I would love to play an over, but I just couldn't get there. So I'm going back to what's gotten me here, and it's let me down or hasn't let me down all year. So yeah, I'm on North Carolina.
And the guy said, I'm shocked nobody's talking about the SEC. Dude, we went to like 3 SEC games. I'm shocked. I click on this video, and at this moment, there's not an SEC game on the screen. All right. So, Scoop, do you agree that this number is too low?
Yeah, it was a hard one. I'm leaning North Carolina, but I'm glad both these teams are good again because this game had no juice last year. Obviously, everyone's going to be watching this game. It's probably the best rivalry in college basketball. There's solid matchups throughout this game. Filipowski and Bacot should be fun to watch. Jeremy Roach is shooting like 50% from 3, which is absurd, but I don't see that continuing at all. North Carolina is a great perimeter team. Listen, both teams are great. Apparently not against Georgia Tech, but they're both great teams. I'm gonna throw those games out since they both lost to them. But RJ Davis is still the best player on the court. Duke's beating up Notre Dame, Louisville, Pittsburgh on the road, but North Carolina is worlds better than all of them. North Carolina should win the rebounding battle with Bacot and Ingram. It should be tons of fun to watch. I just think North Carolina should cover this number. They're a better all-around basketball team.
Andy, North Carolina?
I'm on Duke.
What?
It's tough. The reason I'm on Duke is I think they went into last week. They didn't have kind of a flat spot against, because obviously they were looking forward to North Carolina. I think that's what happened with North Carolina against Georgia Tech. I think they were just looking forward to the Duke game. Duke played on Monday after playing on Saturday, so they didn't really have much time in between their games. So they were good. But I'm not going to forget they just went on the road and beat a pretty good Virginia Tech team. Like, they did just beat a pretty good team. They shoot the 3 well. I just think they're more talented. I think North Carolina's experience helps them a ton. I think they cover. I don't know if they win. I think it'll be very close, 1-2 point game. Maybe free throws at the end pushes it to 3 or 4. But I just think Duke is a very good team that hasn't gotten the love because they're not elite, but they are still really, really good. So I like Duke.
Nah, North Carolina. This line is not high. I mean, I could see the angle of like, hey, this is a rivalry. It's going to be a close game no matter what. If the line was 7.5, but 4.5 is just not enough. North Carolina is significantly better at home here.
Not to mention Duke's best road win against number 57 Virginia Tech doesn't really help me.
Coming off of it.
Yeah.
Letdown spot then.
Someone said DraftKings and FanDuel both have 50% Duke moneyline boosts up.
They do.
Beautiful.
There you go.
Better.
68% to 21% North Carolina. We're community's heavy on North Carolina. It's definitely going to be the public square side, but I think it's because it's Duke, North Carolina. There's going to be sharps coming in, putting big money on Duke, keeping the number close.
Duke should have lost to Clemson at home the other day. So,
so there's that.
They won by 1. They should have lost that game.
They actually shouldn't have Clemson gone to the free throw line or something?
Yeah, they got fouled at the end.
Matt Campbell on the road against Baylor. All right, Scoop. Before you even talk Iowa State plus the points and on the money line. This is the Iowa State team is the gift that keeps on giving. I took them against who the hell did I take them against? You guys all laughed at me. You guys all laughed at me on the show.
With you, I think.
I'm pretty sure I was on an island. Everyone laughed at me. Everyone was like, "Oh, you're just because you like Matt Campbell," and they won outright. Oh, it was against wasn't it against Baylor? Where they ended up, they were
looking at the schedule.
They were -5 or something. Oh, it was Kansas.
Kansas.
Yeah.
With you.
No, I was on an island
you
alone
were?
on Kansas,
Oh.
which I regret.
So Cyclones +4 on the money line as well. This is the spot of the clones. Scoop.
Yeah, I am not on that. Baylor at home, I'm pounding it.
Pounding it.
Yes. I mean, Baylor struggles on defense. They're not great in defensive efficiency, but the Cyclones don't have an incredible offensive team. Listen, Baylor's let me down a lot this year, but I like them at home. It's not a big enough number, I think. Baylor's going to push the tempo, try to outscore them. I mean, Iowa State's not going to hit 14 threes like they did against Kansas because, they're 12th in three-point field goal percentage in the Big 12, which is not last, by the way. Big 12 has 14 teams, so I know it's hard to think about, but all the offensive numbers are there for Baylor. They're in the top 20 in mostly every category. Everyone knows winning on the road's hard in the Big 12. I just like Baylor to cover the number at home.
Andy?
I don't think Baylor's losing back-to-back home games. I think they win this one by 6 or 7. I get Iowa State's cashed a lot. Still not 1,000% sold on them. I think Baylor has way more potential, way more talent on their team. I thought Saturday was a big wake-up call for them, too, losing to TCU at home. I know it was triple overtime, but I think they're going to settle in here and win by like 6 or 7.
We already know Toast is taking Baylor. He's obsessed with Baylor.
It's a lean. I wouldn't bet. I wouldn't bet Baylor -4. No, I wouldn't bet. I wouldn't bet ISU either. So it's Baylor or pass for me.
All right. This one's pretty split. 46%, 43% in favor of Baylor. So Baylor does win the poll, but the community split down the middle on this one. Next, Mississippi State at Alabama. Here's SEC for that guy who was pissed that he turned his YouTube on and didn't see
We got
SEC.
back-to-back.
He already turned this off.
No SEC? I'm out. All right.
If he's still here, we have back-to-back SEC games.
Yeah, we do.
Actually, so
I don't understand why this line has just been sitting at 8.5. I mean, you got to think the action's coming in on Alabama. I don't. Does Mississippi State play good defense against a 3-point shot?
oh, they're insane.
They're good.
Top 10 in the nation.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're insane.
Oh, okay. Well, then in that case, I can see. But because
Yeah.
Alabama's first in 3-point percentage at home.
Yeah.
So it's the best 3-point shooting team at home in the NBA, in college basketball in Alabama. So I mean, but I guess if Mississippi State guards the perimeter well, I could see an angle. What are you doing, Andy?
Yeah, I think Mississippi State covers. I think Bama's coming off an emotional comeback win. I think that helps. Mississippi State just lost to their rival, so I think they have a lot of they got to win this game type of thing. This would be big on their resume too, and you have to be able to score inside to beat Mississippi State. They're not going to let you shoot that three. Reason Alabama got hot is they just got hot from three, and that's why they won that game. Mississippi State's not going to let you do that. You have to have a big man. I don't know if Alabama's big man game is as big is good enough to win by a lot here. They're not going to dominate inside, and that's what you have to do to beat Mississippi State. So I think it'll be very close. I even think Mississippi State could win the game, but it'll be very close.
Someone said Alabama money line in the chat.
There's value.
Ballsy call. All right, Toast.
Yeah, I would lean taking the points with Mississippi State as well. If you know Alabama basketball, they like to shoot threes and they like to shoot layups. They don't do anything in the mid range, and that's one thing that I think they could struggle against with the Mississippi State. The issue with Mississippi State is they're kind of small, especially when you look at them against Alabama. So I can see some issues there, but Mississippi State, like I just said, 10th best team in defending the 3-point shot. I mean, teams are only shooting 28.5% against them. So I just think that if you're betting Bama, you're betting that all the shots are going to fall. If you're betting Mississippi State, you're betting that they can get up and make things difficult for them. So another one where there's a huge free throw disparity as well. If Mississippi State 291 in free throw rate, Alabama number 7. Free throw percentage, not rate. So if Mississippi State isn't hitting free throws, it could be a long night. But if they're even somewhat capable at the line, they should be able to cover this number.
Scoop?
Yeah, Bama money line for me. I mean, listen, I'm gonna lay the points. Alabama won their first game against Mississippi State earlier this year. They've been a better team since. The thing is, Mississippi State can't score, and they haven't won a road game yet this season. Sears and Griffin's been awesome for Alabama. Last game they scored 18. They were 18-0 in fast break points against Mississippi State. Like I said, they just can't score. They have 2 players averaging double digits on the season. They haven't been getting production off the bench. Alabama's small. They start 4 guards, but I don't think that's going to matter much against a Mississippi State team. They don't have very dominant bigs. It's a high number, but I'm strictly fading a Mississippi State road team who's just been looking awful. They also have the lowest points per possession on the road in the Big 12 or in the SEC. So,
yeah, I'll put side with Scoop. I like what Toast said about I think the rebounding. I know he said he would lean Mississippi State, but Mississippi State might have great defense on the perimeter. It's a 3-point shot, but Alabama's huge. Like, gonna dominate the glass probably on both sides of the floor. And, I don't know. I don't like this one, to be honest.
Mississippi State's top 20 offensive rebounding team.
Yeah, but Alabama's got tons of size on them. I just saw Alabama use their size advantage in the Georgia game the other day. It was significant at the end of the second half of that second half. Andy knows. He watched it happen.
Oh, I watched it.
Yeah, because Georgia likes to play fast. Mississippi likes to slow it down.
Bro, you said it was a lean.
What?
You said your pick was a lean. Mississippi State.
I mean, that's still how I feel. That doesn't change my lean.
Listen, they lost to West Virginia, bro.
Both these teams lost to West Virginia twice this year.
Twice.
Don't check the schedules. It happened, I promise.
Tennessee at Kentucky. Here we go. Probably the best game of the day. I know everyone will talk about Duke, North Carolina, but I think this is the best game of the day. Andy is a huge Dalton Connect guy, just an all-around fan of the guy. Can he go on the road here and beat Kentucky?
Yeah, this is my favorite of the day. I think Tennessee wins this game pretty easily.
Easily?
Nice.
Pretty, yeah. So
they go to Kentucky and win easily.
All right, so Kentucky has had a problem guarding 3-point shooters. What is the number one thing Dalton Connect is doing right now? Just drilling threes. He's been open everywhere. I mean, 3 of their last 4 games, Kentucky has allowed a 3-point shooter to hit 4 threes. 2 of those games was at home, and they gave up 7 to each of them. Jabri Abdur-Rahim against Georgia. Walter Clayton just went and hit 7 threes against them at home. It just keeps happening. They're struggling to guard the 3-point line. That's what Tennessee does. They hit threes. They're going to out-rebound them when they miss. They're a way better team rebounding. I think this is a complete mismatch for Kentucky. Tennessee I think they will dominate this game because they can rebound and because they can hit the 3. I think those are 2 things Kentucky is struggling with right now, and that's pretty much the game right there. So this is why I love Tennessee.
Andy's favorite bet of the day, he says Tennessee wins easily. That's the word he used.
Easily.
Scoop, does Tennessee win easily on the road to Kentucky?
I don't know about easily, but I actually like Tennessee here. I don't know why the chat's so enthusiastic about Kansas at home. I mean, Kentucky at home. They lost to UNC Wilmington and Florida at home. They needed overtime.
And West Virginia.
And they needed overtime to beat St. Joe's. Kentucky's been rough the last few games. Justin Edwards, DJ Wagner's been hurt. I don't know how they're even if they're gonna play or anything. They have a ton of players that can score, but the problem, like Andy said, they have problems on the defense. They're giving up 82 points a game in the SEC. Dalton Connect's obviously the best scorers in the SEC. I think they're going to struggle some more. Not only is Tennessee one of the best defending teams as well, they rank second in defensive efficiency, but in the whole country, they can score. Yeah, I don't think Kentucky has a great home advantage here at all. I like Tennessee here.
I like
You
Tennessee.
sure about that?
I like
you sure
Tennessee.
about that?
I like Tennessee too. The word that got me was easily.
Easily.
They go on the road to Kentucky and win easily.
Listen,
according
I
to
think they
Andy.
win, but I think they win by like 4.
Toast, do you agree with the sentiment that they win easily?
No, I'm on Kentucky. Look, I don't. I mean, there's a lot of games on the board. It's definitely not my favorite game, so I'll keep it quick. But Kentucky at home has been an absolute juggernaut. I mean, they are scoring 90+ points every time they hit the floor. 94 against in a loss against Florida, 105, 90 to Georgia. I'm sorry, 105 to Georgia, 90 to Mississippi State. I can keep going on, but the bottom line is, to me, do I think that Kentucky is going to score at home? Yes, I understand how good the Tennessee defense is. There's no question about that. I also think that Cal is going to figure out a way to stop Connect or make him one-dimensional. So if he's shooting threes, let him have it. But I don't really worry about Dalton Connect going off, because I have guys like Rob Dillingham, DJ Wagner, Trey Mitchell, Antonio Reed, that all can shoot the ball, all can score at will, even against a top-rated defense like Tennessee, because they, like I've said, they're scoring 90+ points at home every time they hit the floor. Not to mention the fact Kentucky number 3 in the country in turnover percentage, so it's not like Tennessee's going to get these easy transition buckets that they're so accustomed to getting. That's just not going to happen. So yeah, I'll take the 1.5 with Kentucky. Oh, by the way, Kentucky, just a huge team compared to Tennessee. Kentucky 13th in the nation in height. Tennessee 267. They're just babies.
Babies that play
One
lockdown
thing,
team
one
defense.
thing he said. One thing he said is Kentucky does score a lot at home, but look at every single SEC team. No team has scored less than 77 on them at home. I mean, that's insanely bad.
Dalton Connect's hanging 40.
That includes games against
Probably.
Missouri, who's awful, hasn't even won an SEC game yet, and Mississippi State, who we just said has a pretty mediocre offense. They scored 77 each. Like, they're giving up so many.
Yeah, so why are
points.
we not hitting the over
And
here?
both of those
Why are we not
teams
hitting
much
the
better
over?
offensively than Tennessee.
Someone
The
just
reason you're not hitting the over here is just of how good Tennessee's defense is. Like, they make it very difficult.
Someone in
Trust
the
me,
chat said
I bet
defense. Tennessee
Kentucky
doesn't have
home
good
overs
defense.
every fucking game. It's killing me not to bet it right now.
I
It's
saw
killing
that.
me.
Someone in the chat was like, Tennessee's defense
Tennessee is an
isn't good.
awful defense. They're second in the nation.
I was going to say, don't they have the best
I don't-
defense in the country?
Insane defense, known for their defense, actually.
No, they don't have good defense. That's what someone in the comments told me. All right. Oregon at UCLA. Ducks came through for me. That was on Thursday, and I was not having the best night. And that was like the late game. So getting that cash was nice. Get a few dollars back that I lost earlier. That was the LeBron and AD sitting night. I had the Jazz. They blew it against the Sixers. That was that night. So this Oregon win, it was needed. Let's leave it at that. But as far as this one, I don't really know what to do because these teams just played. I hate that. It feels like an NBA schedule here. These teams just played on Thursday night. I don't know. I guess I'd go. I'd go UCLA plus 2.5. You know what? I'm gonna listen. I want to see what Toast says first. Toast.
Ron Burgundy?
Toast.
I lean UCLA. I figured that Andy had a play on this. The reason that we were talking about this game. Yeah, I lean UCLA with the points. I don't. Yeah.
That's how I feel.
This is so gross. Like
Well, hold on. Maybe Andy does have a play. Let's see what he has to say here.
Yeah, I like Oregon. I knew the line was going to be low here. I think Oregon's going to crush them. I don't like this UCLA team. Deckham would be a good way, easily, if you will. I think it'll be pretty easy for Oregon. They scared me a little bit against USC because at the end of the game, I don't know what.
They almost let him blow our cover.
I think USC finished the game on a 13-0 run or something. If they had started that run a minute earlier, they might have actually gone to overtime. Like, it was an ugly end of the game. He's waving me off. What is he?
Stop the presses. I will be on UCLA and give me UCLA money line. Just realize it's one of my favorite spots to fade any team in the Pac-12. Back-to-back road games with one-day prep. Yeah, I'll take UCLA.
Wait, hold on. Back-to-back road games, one-day prep.
Yeah.
Yep,
Is that
I'll
a thing?
take UCLA.
It is.
Favorite
It is a
spot.
thing.
I didn't even look at this game before it. Now that I am, it will be on VIP here soon.
I think
Love it.
I think you liked that the other day for Arizona, right? Because they were, I want to say, they were in Oregon and then they played Oregon State or something like that. And you're very
Correct.
big on that. I think Oregon's just way more talented. I like Oregon here.
So, all right, we're split. Toast like UCLA, and he likes Oregon. I'm gonna put, man, I don't know. I'll put Oregon up for me because I remember when we did the video for the Oregon USC game the other night. Oregon's one of the best road shooting teams in college basketball, but I don't have a goddamn clue, to be honest.
By the way, Kentucky is now favored by 1, so that flipped.
Good.
So for good, yeah,
Easily.
more
Easily.
Easily.
Yeah, I don't know about this one. I guess ducks fly together. I'll keep the Oregon train rolling. It's hard to trust UCLA. They're just not a great shooting team. I know they've been improving a lot lately. I've just been back and forth on this game. So Oregon should be good on the offensive glass. They had 17 offensive rebounds last game. It's an interesting line. I'll lean Oregon.
All right.
Oregon bettors got lucky their last game against USC in that sketch ass.
What do you mean lucky?
That was my favorite bet. What are you talking about?
Ain't gonna get it tonight.
Lucky, they beat the shit out of them. They like literally
Really?
beat.
Did you watch the game, Kyle?
I actually did have it on.
I like
Yes,
the game.
they're up like
so in the
they're up like 20.
I like okay.
3 units
So when
on
they were
Oregon
down
tonight.
by four with a couple minutes left to go, you weren't worried.
Oh no, I was worried, but like Oregon dominated the whole game. It was like the last 2.5 minutes. They took the foot off the gas. There's no way you could tell me I got lucky. They dominated the whole game. St. Mary's at Gonzaga. Line is 4.5. Toast said in the Discord last night that Zags win by double digits, but he's a homer and he's a diehard Gonzaga.
And the line was 2.5 at that point.
It was 2.5 at that point. Yes. So at 4.5, you said they win by double digits. Are you sticking to your guns?
Yeah. I would still play Gonzaga at 4.5 personally. So I think that I paired I paired Gonzaga and San Diego State together as well, if anybody wants to do that. But as far as Gonzaga goes,
see, someone just said Toast is toasting y'all. No, I was right. I was right in that debate we just had. Oregon was the side. Don't listen to that. No, I'm not taking an L there. Oregon was right. I'm not taking an L for that. All right, go on.
Sounds like you took an L. But anyway, so look, Gonzaga owns this St. Mary's team. I understand that St. Mary's beat Gonzaga last year at home, and then what happened? They lost by 9 against Gonzaga on the road, and then they lost by almost 17 in Vegas. Aiden Mahaney's really good. There's no question about that, but unfortunately, Nolan Hickman and Ryan Nemhard should be able to put him in a blender. And then as far as Mitchell Saxon and Joshua Jefferson and all the Augustus, whoever they got, EK, Watson, all those guys should be able to have plenty of time to deal with them. So yeah, I just think that Gonzaga at home is a much better look. If this was on the road, I wouldn't be as gung ho on Gonzaga. I will admit that. But at home, I think it's a different story. And then one thing that's plagued Gonzaga this year is free throw shooting. Well, lucky for them, there's only one team really worse at free throw shooting than them, and it's St. Mary's, who shoots it at 68%, which is good for 290th in the country. So, yeah, I think the Gonzaga wins this one. I'm not going to say that they deck them, but I do think that they cover.
I'm putting Zags up for me, too. I like St. Mary. I like betting on them, but like Toast said, they don't have a good track record here. And the short line at 4.5, and I don't love it. So, yeah, I'd go Gonzaga as well. This game isn't till late, so I didn't bet this one or anything yet. But
10:30 Eastern.
Yeah, so that's 11 hours from now. So, I probably will bet Gonzaga. Scoop.
Yeah, this is the Toast special here, Gonzaga. I'm gonna go to Zags here, and I'm actually gonna go mutual opponents here. Gonzaga just crushed an LMU team in their last game when the Gales only beat them by 5 and looked pretty bad against them, and that was just the last game that they played. Gonzaga's a better team here, and they're actually getting better. You could say they were overrated early in the season. I agree, but now they're kind of trending to the underrated part of the team. Now I think Gonzaga is going to keep it up. I think they're going to get better. I think they're going to qualify for the tournament. And I'm going to go with the Zags here at home.
Andy, is it a Zag sweep?
Yeah, he said it right at the end. I think Gonzaga needs this game. I think this would probably push them into a lot of brackets. They're hearing all of that. Mark Few's never heard this in his career where they're almost out of the tournament, whatever. I know they're looking, I think, what is it, next week? Toast, you would probably know. Is it next week they play Kentucky or is it a week after?
February 10th.
Okay, so next week they play Kentucky. So during the week, maybe it'll be a look ahead spot. Not here. They're playing St. Mary's. I think they win this one. I won't say easily, but I think they cover.
Dude said, Scoop, put your dog on the screen and just talk in the background. That beard is hideous.
Yeah, I got splotches and everything. I don't grow a good beard. I'm just lazy.
Yo, that was awesome. All right, 49%, 39% Gonzaga. So community's on Gonzaga. We're on Gonzaga. Shall we talk community parlay? Our first ever college basketball Saturday community parlay. We're always rushing to get it done in time, but it looks like 10:45 is the move because here we are, perfect amount of time to do a community parlay right before everything tips off.
Literally is like perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hold on, let me pull up. Where is there a list of all the games we did? Didn't you send it in the text, Andy?
Yeah, I sent one.
All right, let me get that. So that was in a group text.
Thanks for admiring me, though. I
Yeah.
really appreciate it. It's really nice of you.
I don't see it.
There was 16 games and should be
Yeah,
a
it's in the
perfect
chat.
4-4-4. I'll send it to you again if you would like.
Hold on. Is it Andy Toast AJ?
Yeah, it's on a fucking document, like a weird.
Here it is. Here it is. It's Andy's weird ass.
I thought I cropped it too, but I'm looking
No,
at
you
it.
didn't
It's
crop
not cropped.
anything, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought I cropped it. That was
Okay, so first up, we got Yukon money line.
Caravan not playing, by the way.
South Carolina, Georgia. Who won that poll? Who won that poll? South Carolina, Georgia.
South Carolina, I
Yeah,
think,
South Carolina won that.
because I think you guys were on them.
South Carolina, Texas, TCU. Damn it. I think Texas won that poll. Virginia, Clemson. Virginia definitely won that poll. All right, first leg of the community parlay.
By the way, I know we're not we didn't give any love, but I actually like San Diego State today. I don't know if anyone else does.
Yeah, same here. I have them on there, on my list.
I think there was somebody asking about the Miami game. I think Virginia Tech wins that game outright. So
Yeah, I'm on Miami big. It's one of my favorites.
interesting.
All right, community parlay. First leg is going to be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and poll. And the first leg is Yukon. Yukon money
You want
line.
me to do this?
Yeah, if someone wants to open up a sports book.
Yeah, got it.
South Carolina money line was second. So if you had South Carolina, you'll get another chance. Let's see where we're going now.
Will there? Will they? Because there's 16 games.
Oh, yeah. No, you probably won't get another chance then. Houston, Kansas.
Andy's favorite was Tennessee, by the way.
Yes. Oh, did
Mine
someone
was
ask?
Texas Tech.
Oklahoma, UCF. I can't remember who won that poll.
Texas Tech, Cincinnati.
I'm gonna say Oklahoma probably won it.
Oh,
I've got a couple people with their DMs. I don't have like a favorite play. I have like 30 bets today, guys. Like there's 150 games on. Like I really don't have a favorite play. So
All right, second leg of the community parlay. Cast your votes.
there is a top 5 on the website that I feel confident about.
Mississippi Valley to win, but not. Wait, to win but cover. Oh, not to win but cover. Got it. Mississippi Valley. Take the Nets today. Nets are 8-3 straight up against teams in the bottom 25th percentile in 3-point defense. Sixers perimeter defense has really fallen off recently. Games at 6 p.m. Nets money line. Nets plus 4.5.
And I wonder what that guy sees with Mississippi Valley State.
I don't know what anyone sees of Mississippi Valley State. Who the hell's watching that?
Well, Arkansas Pine Bluff isn't like terrible, but
So you're not watching it now, but I know damn sure you're gonna watch those conference tournaments when they start.
damn right.
yeah.
Houston money line makes
now-
it. Well, that's what's going to ruin it because Kansas is winning that game.
No, they're not. Trust me. Houston is like
Trust me.
I've put like 5 picks
Trust
on the
me.
channel with Houston. Never lost.
Oh,
Never lost. Undefeated, never lost.
until
Of our ball.
So
But better.
Auburn money line. Cincinnati, Texas Tech. Any idea who won that poll?
I think Texas Tech,
As they
because
should.
that was Scoop's favorite game.
Really?
He's
People
a big Pop Isaac supporter.
people voted Texas
Shocker.
Tech because Scoop said it was his favorite.
And Chris Beard has a nice left hook too.
Jesus Christ.
I didn't say he's my favorite.
Too soon. Too soon.
I made sure that when I said I liked him as a coach, I said I don't like his personal life. You said you like
it.
Pop Isaac. What about him?
That's why I said that, Andy. That's why I was like, yeah.
He's misunderstood.
Let's see what the votes are coming in. I'm assuming the most public vote on here was North Carolina, so I'm pretty sure North Carolina's going to make this. Yeah, I'll give it another couple seconds, but it looks like it's an easy North Carolina win. Yep, North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yukon, Houston, North Carolina. So basically the top 3 teams in the country.
And that's rough for parlay.
No, but they're not always like they're some of them are short favorites. So
Yeah, UConn's minus 184, so that's not the worst.
Houston's close to a pick 'em.
Yeah.
All right, Mississippi State, Alabama. Alabama won that poll.
The line went down to 3.5 when Caravan got.
Tennessee, Kentucky.
Good. That's where I got it last.
We all
night.
picked Tennessee, but Kentucky won the poll.
Yeah.
Oregon,
we got
UCLA. Oregon won the poll, but I don't think anyone really. That was just Andy putting up wild graphics on the screen. And Gonzaga money line. All right, last leg of the community parlay.
Better be Gonzaga.
It better be. It better be Gonzaga.
Damn right.
West Virginia gonna beat BYU today, by the way.
Technically, they already beat them 3 or 4 times this year. Guys, don't vote Kentucky. Do not vote Kentucky. Tennessee's all right. Good. Thought Kentucky was going to win. Tennessee's going to win that game. Looks like Gonzaga is going to take it. Give it another few seconds, but they have a healthy lead.
Toast, what do you think about Memphis today?
I honestly don't. It's a very high number. I don't know what to think of that team, man, to be dead honest with you. I at the same time, Wichita State, I've played them like 4 times this year.
Yeah.
They seem to let me down.
Toast is the Penny Hardaway hater, so
Lakers money line asking if I'm doing a live for NBA. I don't know. It's Andy and AJ aren't here today, so it's Saturday. I'm here by myself, which means I would have to do all the graphics. I'm going to be sitting here working, so I'm going to start working on some stuff and see if I'm able to, but I don't know if it's realistic that I'm able to get a live show. I mean, the show has evolved to a point where, I almost can't do it by myself anymore because, look at the screen. There's so much shit going on. It's not a simple process like it used to be. Picture, if, the studios of ESPN, if there was just, one guy. Yo, I can't run this
back
shit.
in the day when it was, me and you.
Yeah. And, the screen, there was, nothing on the screen. You know what I mean?
It'd be one graphic. It'd be like, Toast, check this graphic. I got. Check this one.
It was we've come a long way. Bob, how about this, Bob? I'll try. Let's give it a 50-50. I'll try to get it to go live at 4 p.m. Maybe I'll go live for 15 minutes, and I'll just share my notes for each one and make it super simple. I'll do a simple version. But I can tell you right now, Nets, Kings, both dogs. Take them both.
Nets Kings got it.
Nets, Kings.
Gonna be tough to forget that.
Nets, Kings.
So
Can I get a Gonzaga money line completes the community parlay? Can I get
I 44.
Ooh, okay. Community
Newcastle
parlay.
away. Awesome, 4-4.
Community parlay hit last night, by the way. The +1 whatever. That guy called Guy Boston Sports was cool, by the way. I don't know if you guys
Yeah,
ever
I liked him. I was gonna send him a message and say it's a good job.
Yeah, and he sent me a message thanking me. He was like, that was a ton of fun. So he enjoyed it too. That was fun. We'll definitely get him back on. But Yukon money line, Houston money line, North Carolina money line, Gonzaga money line +544. Did any of you guys see the clip where Prop Beaver said he wants to scrap Popovich?
No.
What?
Dude, he said on the show that he wanted to. He goes, I want to scrap that old man. and Guy Boston Sports goes, I think he'd take you. I'll send it to you guys. I'll send it to you guys in the group chat, dude.
I would bet the money line so heavy on Pop in that.
He goes, I want to scrap that old man.
Austin Wine.
Because he didn't play Devin Vassell like 25 minutes one night. I want to scrap that old man.
Yeah, he holds.
Rotations are fucked.
Nobody holds grudges like Prop Fever. He'll remember some things from friggin' November.
I know. All right. So, everyone, thanks for watching. Almost 900 people in here. The Saturday show's growing, which I hoped it would, because I think Saturday college basketball is an undervalued day in sports. Everyone knows college football Saturdays. College basketball Saturdays in January, February are awesome. So thanks for watching. We'll be back same time next week, and we'll be here throughout the week too. I think, you know what, real quick before we go, let me look at tomorrow, because I have no plans. I'm down to work and do a show tomorrow for NBA. Wow. See, there's 9 games. So, yeah, I'm going to try to do something for NBA tomorrow. Maybe I'll go live at like noon or something, because some of them start at 3. So I'll be live at some point for the NBA. I'll put it up. Everyone, if I'm able to make it back at 4 p.m. for the NBA today, cool. If not, my bad. Have a good day. Remember to bet responsibly. I will see you tomorrow. Later.